Zeke with Talking Lead.
Left hand.
And Rob Pincus is back with us, but we got another special guest. This is Rob's daughter, Christina. And the reason we're having her here is if you haven't seen the media lately and some of the news, Rob had said some stuff at an NRA, was it a conference?
Yeah, home defense teaching seminar.
Yeah, it was a little teaching seminar. Some of the media took stuff and twisted it a little bit, and we'll let him explain exactly what he said and just kind of go from there.
Yeah, well, what happened, I know you guys have seen the story, and you guys have probably seen it. Christina may not have seen it. She's not real savvy with the internet yet.
I'm not as cool as you, Dad.
Well, that's it. There you go. So she grew up in a house with guns, and she grew up in a house with guns that certainly some were staged for home defense, and they were kept appropriately and from unauthorized access, and she's been shooting, you know, basically since she's been standing. And the context of what we said, what I said was, it may be a good idea to stage a home defense gun in your kid's room, in a quick access safe, because as a parent, obviously our first inclination, if something goes bump in the night or in the middle of the day or whenever it is, if we think there's a threat coming into our home or already in our home, is going to be to go check on our child. That's natural. And I would never want someone who went through training, especially someone who's at an NRA convention, at a home defense seminar, talking about where to store the gun, I would never want them to be standing in that hallway trying to decide, do they go to their quick access safe or do they go to their kid? You know, you go to your kid. That's the natural instinct. That's the right thing to do. But once you get there, if you're safe, if your daughter's not in trouble, and there still could be a bad guy out there in the world, let's go ahead and lock the door and have our barricade area, which is part of our training system, is you try to evade, and if you can't evade, you barricade. Have your barricade area in the kid's room where you're going to go anyway. And now your kids don't have to move through a dangerous house. They don't have to come running to you. You don't have to run around your house with a gun in your hand. You just get to the kids, lock the door, get on the phone with the police. We talk about having a cell phone there on a charger, stuff like that, and get that firearm out of that quick access safe and be ready to defend yourself. And it's Wednesday today, and earlier in Warrenton, I believe out in Oregon, out in the Pacific Northwest, there was a mother who defended her 3 teenage daughters in a bedroom with the door locked, on the phone, waiting for the police. And it's tragic that these things happen, but it's exactly what we're talking about. Now, Christina, talk about your experience with guns and growing up in a house with guns.
Well, like you said before, well, I think before I could stand, I had guns, and there's some interesting pictures of you holding me up, and I mean, I'm more than comfortable with guns, and my friends are like, oh, you're shooting? I'm like, yeah, you know, I feel comfortable with it. It's not a scary thing. I mean, there's lots of talk on Twitter now about guns, and I now have responses to everything, and I'm 100% comfortable, and I agree with, you know, in a safe area in the kids' room, for sure.
Now, when you talk about growing up around guns and having friends over, one of the things that always gets thrown out there is, oh, curiosity, that you're going to mess with the guns. Now, you're almost 18, and you've graduated from high school. Did you ever mess with the guns when I wasn't around?
When you weren't around, no. I mean, that's
when your mom wasn't around.
#1 rule that, I mean, I know they're dangerous, they're guns, yes, but they're nothing to be afraid of, unless, you know, you're the person that has them. And it's a good song.
You only need to be afraid if someone's trying to hurt you.
You only need to be afraid if someone, I mean, I'm 100% comfortable, like I said. You only need to be afraid of the bad people with the guns, not the gun itself. And I would, as a kid, from 0 to 17 now, I have never, you know, snuck around, oh, look at this gun, it's cool, you know. Nothing that would have been what I would have gotten grounded for.
There you go. So you're not grounded. Good job.
Thanks.
Would have been embarrassing if she'd said, well, there was this one time. Let's get you on the line and let you actually shoot, and we'll show people that you don't have to be 40 years old and get ready to be overweight to shoot. Go ahead and get on your line. I have your eye protection, ear protection on, and whenever you're ready, just go ahead and draw and put a few rounds into that target. Guys, I appreciate you letting me talk about this.
Not a problem.
It's a cool range, but it's kind of haunted.
I'm scared. I'm scared.
That's the one we wanted. That is very tricky.
What is going on?
These are very
It's
tricky
the end of the
targets.
night.